A very welcome back to my channel, everybody. If you're new here, my name's Khalid and I have been documenting and sharing with you guys my recovery post ankle surgery. I'm now just shy of 5 months since I've had that surgery, and while I am over the worst of it, thankfully, it's still very tough. Like a lot of you guys have told me in the comments below as well, recovery is clearly not linear, and for some of us, unfortunately, we still have long roads ahead of us. For me, over the past couple of weeks, it's been super busy. I had my 7th physiotherapy session where we jumped into more plyometric work as expected. I flew to Spain for my friend's wedding, which was really fun, and thankfully I survived it. I had my 4th check-in with my surgeon, which went really well, and also 2 big milestones were reached. Finally got back walking this fella here, and secondly, I finally jumped on a treadmill for a super light jog. So yeah, 2 very good milestones reached and a lot to cover in this video, so let's dive in. 7 sessions over the course of 3 or 4 months. It might not seem like a lot, but trust me, when you're doing the exercises every single day, then transitioning into every second day, in the later stages of your recovery, it's a lot for your leg to take. In this session, Kieran checked in on how I was with the double leg jumps and box landings, and then was satisfied to push me into more aggressive plyometric work. Surprisingly, for most exercises, I was able to do them with minimum pain, so that was a really big win. We've also shifted focus now, where for the last couple of months we were on aggressive calf loading, and we've shifted that focus into more kind of jumping and hopping, with the idea to push into that kind of running mode for the next couple of weeks. When I was at that session as well, I was exactly 2 weeks away from my update or check-in with my surgeon, so Kieran wanted me to push on with those exercises for about 10 to 11 days and then try fit in 1 jog on a treadmill before I met that surgeon. So let's see how I manage with that. So these first 3 exercises will be the plyometric work I got over the next couple of weeks. Exercise 1 is a progression from my last session, jumping up with both legs, but this time I am landing just on my left foot. It's very tough, not a lot of pain though, which is great, but holding that landing is hard. So I am getting better though, slowly building that control. It's just taking a bit of time, which is frustrating. Exercise 2 is a similar idea, but this time it's side to side jumps, trying to stick that landing. It's very important to try maintain that stable landing every single time. So I am a bit unstable on the left, but I'm making good progress over the last couple of weeks. The really big win here for me is that I can engage my full foot when I push off my left. That's a huge thing for me because it's something I struggled with before surgery, engaging that big toe when pushing off that left foot. So I'm really happy with that. Unfortunately, there's always that one exercise. This one for me is very, very hard. Jumping off just with my left foot, can't do it. When I actually tried this with Kieran, I couldn't lift off my toes at all. I was basically kind of jumping up on my whole foot and then landing flat, which is not good. I have made a small bit of progress, but the pain is really, really, really high, maybe 7 or 8 out of 10 when I do it. I do feel limited as well when I push off my toes, but it's something I'm going to keep doing with the hope that over the next few weeks or months, whatever it takes, that I will get better, because that's a very, very, very important kind of position you need to be in with your foot if you ever want to go back running. I'm doing all those exercises every second day, 3 sets for 6 reps. Exercise 4, this is a step up from my previous calf work. I'm now doing single leg standing calf raises, which is really nice. 3 sets of 12 reps every second day. I'm hoping to start adding weight soon. I enjoy it, but I still feel limited on how much I can use my left foot alone, kind of going into that last exercise. Still, I am sticking with it to see how long it takes before I can lift off easily, and I am progressing and kind of documenting how much progress I'm making each week. I love the progress I have made so far. My calves are looking and feeling a lot stronger from where they were a couple of months back. So exercise 5 and 6 here, I'm not too sure what to call these 2 exercises, but they're all about kind of replicating that running technique. I'm pushing off on my toes to build a tolerance in that position. I'm doing 3 sets of 30-second rounds every second day. Again, pain in the front of my ankle is definitely holding me back, but they have served as a kind of reminder that sprinting isn't on the cards for me anytime soon. But honestly, just being able to get into these positions and attempt that movement is a win in itself. Progress, even if it's frustratingly slow. So I stuck with these exercises for the duration of the 10 or 12 days and managed to jump on a treadmill for my first jog post-operation. Super achievement for about 4.5 months after my operation. It wasn't easy, but it was a really good start. I did about 4 minutes in total. That included walks in between. Overall, the only pain I had was the pain I had when I was discussing my exercises, that pain in the front, which was hindering me, but no real pain in the peroneus brevis tendon area. Ankle felt stable when I was landing, no Achilles pain. And then also I only kind of felt my whole leg was tired or fatigued. And I feel that's because of a lack of range of motion in my ankle. I feel like maybe my leg is kind of like not really bending correctly when it runs, and it just stiffens up. But yeah, really happy, and it's motivated me to really try push on with the running over the next couple of weeks. So this kind of leads me into that fourth check-in with my surgeon, and like every other check-in I've had, they last about 10 minutes, so I'm really getting my money's worth. So he asked me how I was overall. I discussed my numbness that I still had and my concerns, and he thinks my numbness is getting better. It's reducing, and to be honest, it probably is, but I've become so accustomed to it, I don't really even notice it anymore. So it's really hard to tell. So I told him also that I don't feel a lot of pain in the repaired areas of the tendons and in my Achilles, and the only pain I told him about was the pain that I had in the front of the ankle, like I just discussed. I feel this pain as well, when I'm sitting down, say at my desk in work or at home, or if I'm in the car when I get out for a couple of minutes, it's very sore and very stiff in that front area of the ankle. Like, express my frustration because I didn't have this pain before my surgery. So I was asking him, was it related to my ATFL, which is at the front of the ankle? He investigated and pinpointed that the pain was most likely in the sinus tarsi, which is just right of the ATFL ligament. He told me that is a very common occurrence for inflammation in the sinus tarsi post ankle surgery. He was confident that that was what I was dealing with, and he said a cortisol injection would, fix that if I needed. Because I was still very early in my recovery, he was reluctant to inject it just yet. He wanted me to monitor over the next couple of weeks or months to see would it get better. He told me that he's seen cases where, the pain in the sinus tarsi can last up to 6 months, 9 months, a year. It's very hard to tell. I feel like that's the way he's kind of answered any kind of question on pain and swelling that I've had or numbness. Depends on the patient. So I don't know how long I'm gonna have it for, but I told him as well that I was reluctant to inject the sinus tarsi again, because I've had 3 injections in my ankle before the surgery to investigate areas and see would it help. And one of those was actually the sinus tarsi, and it didn't help me. So yeah, I'm reluctant to get another injection just yet. I'm gonna see how much it hinders me over the next couple of weeks. It has hindered me, as I've said, but I also feel it's getting better. Slightly, slowly, but it is getting better. So I wanted to try heal naturally, and yeah, I don't want to get another steroid injection in my ankle anytime soon. So overall, he was very happy with where I was, and he told me to push on with my leg workouts, with my walking for longer distances, even running, and actually even going back to sports. Now I know it's still very early for that, but he told me to push on with that kind of mentality. As for the occasional swelling, he said it's still very normal at this stage of my recovery. So he wants to see me just one more time before he discharges me in 6 months. He did let me know though that if I did have pain in the sinus tarsi that was hindering me from running or getting back to sports, to let him know, and that he would organize an injection into the sinus tarsi. But as I said, don't want to do that just now, so I'm going to see how the next couple of months pan out. So speaking of swelling, yeah, I'm just over a week home from my trip to Spain, and yeah, it was really fun, but as I expected, my ankle and foot were super swollen for the duration of the 5 days. Take a look at me on the flight over here. I wore compression socks, I took anti-inflammatory tablets, and I thought I'd be okay. Take a look at my ankle at the end of the flight. Wasn't really that bad, but it got progressively worse from this point on. So this is the end of the first night. You can see my ankle's quite swollen, but then the morning after the wedding, which is 2 days in, it got a bit worse. Then 3 nights in, and then look at my ankle on the last night wearing my runners. Yeah, it's super bad, super swollen, and it hurt to walk and felt pretty uncomfortable overall. But I did manage, and we still enjoyed ourselves, which was the most important part. We flew home from Spain on a Monday afternoon, and my ankle remained swollen for that kind of evening, night, and then when I woke up the next morning there was no swelling at all. So it's really weird how it works, but I was really happy that I wasn't going to have this kind of swelling lingering for a couple of more days. So that's about it for this update. There's no real change with how my ankle feels right now. I still have that pain in the front of the ankle, which is hindering me, but overall, I'm super happy, super content that my surgeon's happy, my physio's happy, and that I feel stronger and more confident on my left foot and being able to get back running, hopefully. So yeah, I'm super content with where I am, and I'm only excited to see how I get on in the next couple of months. I hope this video was helpful should you be in a similar position to me. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with my recovery journey, in case it's something you're also going through and maybe you have questions on. So until next time, peace.